Frugal Hugel gardener. I'm in front of my sugarcane right now. The weather's been rainy for the past couple days. Everything's all wet and the weather dropped down. It's really cool. I need to harvest my sugarcane. I just ordered and received a sugarcane press. So in today's video, I'm going to harvest by cutting down the sugarcane. I'm going to go ahead and cover up where I cut, mound it, so the roots don't die with the cold weather, and then they'll grow back in the spring. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove all the leaves on them, scrub them down, sterilize them. Then I'm going to go ahead and put it through the sugarcane press and make some nice fresh sugarcane. Also, with some of the cuttings that have roots on them, I'm going to go ahead and plant them along this row so they can start growing back in the spring, and I'll have a nice long row. So I don't know how long that's going to take, so I'll try to do a decent editing video on this. And then afterwards today, I got a busy schedule. I got to go ahead and harvest some bananas and do a couple other things. So, hey, with that said, let's get going. Oh, and definitely stick around to the end of the video. I always put bonus footage on it. You may enjoy it. So with that said, let's get going. Okay, so over here I have purple sugarcane, and on the other side of the row I have green. So I'm just going to start over here because the sun's coming up there, and this way you can see better instead of the sun being in front of the camera and with the glare. You know how that goes. Now I gotta be real careful over here because this is on a pond and there could be a moccasin in there dormant right now because it's cool. Who knows? Okay, so here's a purple sugarcane, and as you can see, there's some roots over here starting, so you can plant it and it'll grow from there. There's some nodes starting, and there's also some plants starting out of the nodes. Well, I'm going to break those off because I don't want these to be starting, because I want this to lay dormant. But there is a way to go ahead and cut this off right here like that, cut the whole node off, and I could plant them inside, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to try to be real careful with the ones that have this on it, so I could have them growing inside and plant them in the spring. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut some more, and I'll get back to you. Okay, I still have a lot more to go. I'm sweating already. But I have a decent amount off, so I'm going to go ahead and remove all the leaves, and I'm going to do it here so they're all piled up and they'll get mulched in. Just like that. Look at all these roots coming out. If I wanted to plant these, they got roots and they got nodes, but I think I got plenty. My hands are starting to freeze. It's real cold out. So I think it's a good day, or good morning to harvest these. It's cooler out. Okay, here's some right here with a shoot coming off. So I'm going to try to be real careful and cut these off and plant them. Here's that one with the nice shoots coming out. I definitely want to plant that. Boy, these real thick ones weigh a lot. Okay, so that's what I got so far. That's the pile of leaves. I'm just gonna leave it there and let it brown. I'll till it under. And here's the rest of them that I need to do. And you can see all these nice new ones coming in there. Since we have cooler weather, those are not going to survive, but I may cut a few off and plant them. If we were down south where it doesn't get cold, I think they would just live through the whole winter. But let me go ahead and finish cutting these that are sticking out, and then I'll deal with that thicker stuff. Okay, you can see all the roots on the end of that one. Those are the ones I'm going to plant inside. And here's some of the roots on this one. Now, the reason why some of mine are like this and then go up like that is because we get tropical storms, and we had a hurricane come through, and the winds pushed them all to the ground, and then they started going up. Otherwise, they would have all been grown like that. But it doesn't matter. It's a good hard shell, and there's sugar throughout this whole stalk. This one I just lifted up and snapped it, and it's got a nice plant growing. So I'll cut that off and put it in a pot in the house on the LED lights. And I would think it should grow nicely. So you can see I did this whole side that was coming way out. Now these are standing up nice and straight. Do you see that? These are nice and straight. So I'm going to come in here and get the green that's out and leave those that are straight. Then I'm going to rake all of this right here, get it out of my way, and see what everything looks like. Okay, so as you can see, I got a nice amount of purple sugarcane. All I gotta do now is clean those up, and then I can put them through the juicer. I have some sections that I'm gonna propagate, but now I wanna go ahead over here and clean up this area before I start harvesting anymore. I wanna see what it looks like. I don't wanna do too many in one day and not be able to process them. Although with the weather being cool, it'll probably stay for a couple days before I process it, but I want to try to get it all done in one day, or at a minimum 2 days. Okay, so you see the point. You can see how I'm cleaning it up. Now I'm going to get a different tool, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get in between them until I can see them nicely. And then I'm going to clean up this green area over here. That way I expose the green sugarcane and I have the purple done. This here I'm just pulling out. When it browns, I'll till it under the ground. All of the stalks will turn brown. I'll till it under the ground. And that's how you build up your soil. So anyway, it's looking good. I have a bunch of these little ones over here. So what I'm going to do is when I cut down the bigger ones around it, I'm going to try to cut it into the ground, remove it with the roots, and pot it, bring it in the house. That way in spring I have some already started, and then all the ones I'm going to plant over there are going to be coming up. Anyways, I think that's the thing to do. What do you think? So let me get going. Okay, so as you can see, I did the row, I cleaned it all out, thinned it out, pulled some of the brown stuff. I like the way it's looking. But over here, I have some sugarcane exposed on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some of this loose soil on it, or when I get a chance to come back out and finish harvesting. I don't want to do too much right now in one morning, just in case I have a problem with the machine. I got to run to the store and get lemon and lime. But we're going to clean up that machine and do a little taste test with no lime and no lemon at first. Then I'm going to shoot to the store, come back and do a full taste test. Okay, so those were the easy ones that I seen that were all laying out. At least I got a little bit of dirt over it to help protect them. I'm still going to cut them down under the ground and then bury them, so I'll remove the dirt. Once all of this is cut down, I'm going to go ahead and put all of it under the dirt to protect it from the cold. So you can see what I did this morning on this row. Here's everything I cut down. And here's my sugarcane. So for now, I just have the purple. Gonna take it over there and clean them up. We're gonna process one. I'm gonna go ahead and do a taste test, which, you know, I love it anyway, but we're gonna do a taste test, see how the machine works. Then I gotta run to the store. So let's get with it. Okay, so before we go over there, I just want to show you. You can see I got more purple sugarcane all back in there. It's going to be nice once I cut it down and clean up the area. I have some nice starters to bring to pot and bring in the house. And there's actually a rock wall that I put up there for decoration, landscaping for the pond. But when this grew in, you can't really see it. And then I cleaned up my green sugarcane pretty good. And I do have a number of them that is straight. You can see how tall, look at that. I've been eating on these green sugarcane. And I like the ones that are standing straight up. So hopefully when those grow in this spring, they won't blow over by any winds or storm. I'll try to create something to keep them straighter. I'm thinking of planting in the pyramid style, like a triangle. So when they come up, I could tie them together, and that should hold it better. You'll see that in the upcoming video when I plant all along there, the pyramid style. But for now, this is what it looks like. I got the green and I got the purple. Now, I think I said before in my other videos, when I ordered these, I just didn't go down to the farmer's market and take something right off of the stand. I wanted a good quality and variety that's been grown for years and has been proven to taste good, and that's chewable and real juicy. So what I done was I went online, and in South Florida there's a sugarcane grower that actually sells cut sugarcane in boxes for people to eat. It's like $60 a box. I know, it's expensive when you could go buy one of these 10-footers for about $4 at the flea market, but you don't know what you're gonna get. it may not taste that good. It might not get that big. It might not be that juicy. So I thought, and it turned out to be correct, because these taste terrific. If I bought off them, and they're growing to make sugar, but they're also growing to sell locally at their stand, plus they have a mail order business where they send all over the place for $60 a box for people that want to eat sugarcane. So after talking with them, I got these in a good eating sugarcane. Now they didn't have roots and they didn't have nodes, so I took a risk, but I cut off all the nodes. I ate in between, and then I planted them, and probably about 15 to 25% grew, and this is what I planted here. So now I can multiply these, knowing I got a good quality variety of sugarcane that the good growers harvest and make sugar out of, and harvest to ship and sell for people that want to eat it. So I think I did the right thing here. So I want to keep all these growing, and that's why I'm going to cover up the roots so the cold don't get them. And then I'm going to plant right now for the spring. That way I get a spring crop. Plus I'm going to have some in the house because I really want to keep these going. And I want this row to go from way down there all the way down over there. Because not only am I going to juice them and bottle them and put them in the freezer and they'll last a few months, but I'm also going to boil them, and I'm going to boil them into brown sugar, cube them, and then I could put cubes in my drinks or what I'm cooking, and it's about the freshest sugar you could have. So with that said, let's go squeeze some and juice it up. Okay, so before we go over there and juice, I want to go ahead and separate some of these here so I don't damage them. Now you could chop them off or do what you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and try to do a clean cut. I think you can see that nice. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice cut right here. Look at all those roots on there, and it's a clean cut. And I want to give this one more clean cut right there on that side. Okay, so I think this is looking good. And by looking at it, clean it up a little bit. I have a stalk here, over here, one here, one here, one here, one there, one there, one there, one there. So there's a bunch of stalks coming out, and you can see it's nice and fresh on both sides. So this, I'm going to plant in a good pot. This should survive and start growing. If not these will, but I think all of them will. Okay, so I want to do the same thing with this. So I'm going to cut it. Okay, this is looking good. I have stalks coming up all the way around it, nodes. Look at all the nodes down there. I got a bunch coming in. Okay, so right over here, I'm going to do these different. If I cut this whole section out, it will grow. See that section right there? Or if I cut individual nodes, it will grow. Okay, so this section is doing good, but I don't want to plant this because look at all this nice juice in here. I want to squeeze it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this node out, because remember the nodes right here going around, you can't eat that anyway. So I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm going to cut them that way and still juice this up. Or I might just take a knife and cut it that way, like right there. We'll see in a little bit. Okay, so now what I want to do, okay, I just hit all that dirt off. I want to, since this is rooting real good, I want to cut this. I'm going to juice the rest, even though there's roots coming out, but this is rooted up real good. And I could juice it, but I need some to plant. So I cut this off and it's going to get planted in the ground. And all these nodes right here coming out, you see them? Those are going to be plants. They're on both sides. That's going to grow, and I'll plant them that way with the roots down. Okay, so I went ahead and cut a bunch that got roots. Some larger, some smaller. As long as they had roots on them. Some pieces I just want to plant. You can see they're all looking pretty good. And some smaller ones. As long as they have the roots on them, I'm going to plant them. Now, every one of those sections over there going up, if there's a node, those will grow too. But I want to go ahead and juice those. So these I'm going to plant. So I'm going to take them with me now and probably plant them when I finish harvesting those in a couple days. Okay, so I just took a box like this. And I'm going to take these that I want to plant and put them in a box. You never want to put anything like this in a plastic bag. Plastic bags to me are no good. And always in a box. And the ones that I'm going to go ahead and pot, I'm going to put in here nice and gently. Don't want to break them. Okay, just like that. Always in a box. Plastic bags kind of like hold in the moisture, create mold. You know, it could affect the roots. Why take a chance? Just put them in a box like this. They're going to be good. I'm going to put this in the house, on the floor, in the shade, so it's not in the sun. Even though it's cool out here, it's warmer on the porch. And I'm going to preserve these. Then we're going to get on with squeezing these, pressing them, and taking the juice out. I've got a new machine right there for the sugarcane. All I'm going to do is sterilize it just a little bit where it goes through from the factory, you know, people touching it with their hands and all that. So let me go put these inside and I'll get back to you. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to just hose these off a little bit. Okay, so I have a bucket, I have soap, I have some Clorox over there. That's going to be to clean off the machine once I bring it out. But for now, what I want to do, I wanted to show you how I'm going to go ahead and cut these nodes out in a triangle and plant them, and they will grow. And then I'll be able to go ahead and utilize the sugarcane to squeeze. Plus, I don't want to work with big sections, so I'm going to cut these up into workable sections. So let me cut them up and I'll get back to you. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is right over here I want to cut out these nodes so I can plant them. I'm going to try to do the same thing right over here with this. Let me go ahead and cut this right here. And right there. Look how juicy that is. Okay, so I want to try to save these two. So I'm going to go ahead and try to cut out the node. I still got the sugarcane to squeeze, and I have the nodes to plant. Just like that. Okay, so let me go ahead and start cleaning these up. So what I'm going to do to clean them up is I'm going to cut these nodes off, just like that. Now if there's roots on there like that, you do this and those roots will come off. Okay, so you just really want the roots off like that. Here's one with a bunch of roots. So you just want to get the roots off. Because when you squeeze them, you don't want those falling off. You can squeeze them with the roots, but why? Get them as clean as you can. Now they have a tool that takes off all the outer skin. But I watched the sugarcane guy on TV that sells the machines, and he leaves the bark on, the outer on, because just like vegetables, there's nutrients in it. So I want to squeeze out the nutrients that are inside of the outside. Okay, you get the point. So let me finish all these, then we're going to wash them and get the machine out. Okay, so I have my juicer out. It's brand new. I just put the spinning wheel on it. I got some tools, I got a brush, and I got some Clorox. So I want to take the tray and the screen out and sterilize them and get the popcorn off of it. Plus, down in here, there's wheels that turn, and people had to assemble this with their hands. I don't know if they're wearing gloves or not, or if it's sprayed with lubrication, because I know the gears, I can see grease on them. So there's probably something on that to keep it from rusting. It's stainless steel, but you know, from the factory, they want to keep it lubed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this cover so we can see what's inside, and I'm going to spray it. I'll be back. Okay, so that was fairly simple. I just removed some screws that were on the outside. Okay, so to take this off, I guess I gotta undo this one. So this is where you feed it through. I removed it. So now you have these right here that squash it when you put it in. And you can see the gears are all lubed up. This cover came off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray this with some Clorox. So I can see some stuff on there. Okay, so I got the front and the back. So what I'm going to do is, as I spin this, I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up like that. Okay, so there's one on the other side you're not going to be able to see. So let me finish scrubbing and then we're going to hose it off. So I'm going to try to gently Okay, so now I'm just going to use some Dawn spray foam. And pour that on there. Smells good. Now I'm going to clean everything else off in soap, dry it, and put it together. Okay, so as that unit is drying, I wiped off the moving parts in the tray. I'm going to go ahead and wash these. So I got a scrubby, and I'm just going to go ahead and go like this. That should be clean. Particles come off and it comes clean. So let me go ahead and finish washing these and I'll get back to you. Okay, so let me show you what happened. See how dirty that water is? I scrubbed it with the scrubby and all the dirt come off. Now, if you look, you can see how nice and shiny and purple these are. Now, look at this next to that one. All that film came off and it's nice. Let me do it this way. Okay, so look at these over here. This one here I cleaned, and this one here I did not. See the difference in color? You know this is clean. So to be extra sure it's clean, I'm going to dump this out, clean the bucket, and go ahead and see if any more dirt comes off. Okay, so I got a clean bucket of water. I already hosed these off up there as well. I'm just doing this so we can see. Okay, let's look in there. There's only particles, but the water's pretty clean. So I think they're clean enough to press. So let's do a taste test. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cane in here, crank it, and the juice should strain through that and get caught in there. And the stalk should come out the back. So let's see how it works. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one in half. Just like that. This is the first one I'm doing, so let's check it out. Okay, that came out. Let me go ahead and put it back in. We'll press it again. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time, fold it. Okay, pretty much this is dry. I'm going to use that for compost. Down in this tray, I can see the sugarcane getting in there. Same thing. Let's try a whole sugar cane. Loosen this up a little bit. Okay, that went through. It was just a little harder. Do it one more time because I don't have this anchored down. This should be on a table where it doesn't slide. Okay, all in all, that's nice and pulp. Let's do this little piece. Put it through one more time. Okay, that's looking pulped up. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so I pulled this out. I'm losing a bunch. Okay, so you can see what it caught over here. Okay, normally you use the drain, but this is what it looks like right here. Smells good. So let's see. Woohoo! Wow, is that sweet. Nice. Wow. That's better than any juice you're going to go buy in the store. Wow. Very nice. Sorry. Wow, this is great. Now this is the first time that I'm harvesting and using a press and drinking this much at one time. Normally I just eat like a 1-inch little piece of it. Woo! Woo, I wish you could taste it. Even smell it. Wow, smells good. Okay, so there you have it. We harvested the sugarcane. We cleaned up the sugarcane. Set up the sugarcane press, put it through it, filled up a glass, did a taste test. I give it the thumbs up. I am going to go ahead and clean this up now, and that's all I'm going to do for the day because I don't want it to get sticky on the inside. I'll just spray the hose in there as I crank it. I'll put all that away in the house where it's cool. Then I got to go feed my chickens and do some other chores around here. Then I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get some limes and some lemon. Because you're supposed to put a little bit of lemon or lime in there. That way when you press it and the juice goes down in there, it doesn't change color. The acidity, it's look on lime. That's what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to go get some. And then when I do the rest, I'm going to do that. But I'm also going to get a table and put some screws in there. So when I crank it, it doesn't move. And then it should go a lot easier. But that's for another time, another video. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning. So with that said, hey, this is Sam the Frugal Hugel Gardener. I hope you enjoyed my little harvesting and pressing the sugarcane and sugarcane taste test. Plus, don't forget, we got some rootings and we got some cuttings and some nodes that I'm going to go ahead and plant in the house. So with that said, give me a like, give me a share, subscribe to my channel, and you can see all the upcoming things I do around my property. Come on over to my Facebook page and my Facebook group. The link is in the description below. Okay, with that said, hope to see you soon.